Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Hello everyone, my name is Mark, aka Derringer. Today is Sunday, December 9th, and you are listening to episode 186 of the Instant Action Podcast, your weekly source for Planetside 2 news and information. As always, I'm brought to you by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on instantactionpodcast.com. Speaking of that Support the Show tab, I want to thank everyone who has been madly using my Amazon link this past week or so. We're getting full swing into the holiday season. So again, as always, anytime that you use my Amazon link, it really helps me out. We're getting close to the time I've got to start thinking about resubbing for my server costs and things like that. Granted, that's, quite a few months away at this point, but obviously now is the busy time when everybody's out there using Amazon and stuff like that. So again, go over to the Support the Show tab on instantactionpodcast.com, click through my Amazon link, do your shopping as normal. You're not charged anything additional or anything like that. Just when you actually use my link, Amazon sends me a small percentage of whatever you spend directly to me at, like I said, no cost to you. It's the simplest way to support the Instant Action Podcast. Other than that, what's been going on with me? Played quite a bit of Planetside 2 this week, actually, because as I'll allude to a little bit later in the show, Auraximas has arrived on Auraxis, and there's lots of cool stuff to do in game and things like that. I played all 3 factions this week. How about that? I can't say that that's happened in a while, but yeah, I've played everything. Every class, every faction, every play style. I've done it all this particular week in Planetside 2. So, yeah, just been doing a heck of a lot of playing. But enough about me. What's in store for this week's show? Well, first I want to talk about some sad news and go over what we know about the recent round of layoffs at Daybreak Games. Then we're back to happy news with the return of Auraximas directives and some other changes. Then I'm going to talk about SolTech and finish up with some rumors about about a new Planetside IP, maybe. So strap in as we hot drop into another episode of the Instant Action Podcast. All right, so like I said, first up this week is unfortunately some sad news, but how it really affects Planetside 2 is probably small. But we did learn last week that Daybreak Games had another round of layoffs, and I'm not going to lie, layoffs in December is one of the shittiest things that a company can ever do. Obviously, it's right in the middle of the holiday season. It just throws your entire life into absolute upheaval. And again, it's one of the shittiest things that anyone can do. At least wait through the end of the year. And I understand why companies do something like this, especially if they report annually rather, on an annual release rather than a fiscal calendar. So if they're reporting annually, obviously their year is ending as of December 31st. So if they remove these employees from their books, it makes their books look a bit better. Obviously, if they're going by a fiscal year calendar, they wouldn't be doing that until the end of June. But clearly, at least to me, it sounds like Daybreak Games most likely just goes by, the regular calendar year regarding things. So that's kind of why you see layoffs at this time of year. Again, I'm just speculating that that's why they're getting laid off in December as opposed to, June or something like that with a fiscal calendar year. So, but regardless, it's awful when someone loses their job. And this was originally tweeted out by Smedley, saying that he had heard, and he quoted a number of 70 employees. And There is no official word on how many were let go, because the official word from Daybreak Games themselves is that we are optimizing our structure to ensure we best position ourselves for continued success in the years to come. This effort has required us to make some changes within the organization, and we are doing everything we can to support those impacted in this difficult time. As we look to improve efficiencies and realign resources, we remain focused on supporting our existing games and development of our future titles. So there's your official word from Daybreak Games, and you'll notice that they made no mention of the number of employees that were let go, even though we've heard between 60 and 70. They made no mention of where or what games those people were let go of, even though I'm reading the majority appears to have come from their Austin, Texas office and not the San Diego headquarters. And they're also, like I said, you'll notice they didn't mention any particular games. I'm hearing that it was from a unannounced title that folks in the Austin office were working on, and I even saw someone say that it's an unannounced title that has been rebooted a couple times and still hasn't made it to the light of day, and that's another reason why this one's being let go. We do have official word from Roxley regarding it, and she responded on Reddit to someone asking if everybody from the Planetside 2 team was still there, and she replied that the core PS2 development team was unaffected by the layoffs. Future plans for the game currently remain unchanged. She goes on to say, regardless, it is always difficult to see friends and colleagues let go. Please have some patience with us while we spend some time making adjustments and make sure everyone lands on their feet. Taking that at face value, perhaps they pick up some of these people and add them to the Planetside 2 team, and maybe that's just an outside pipe dream that's not really going to happen. I think, at least from the way I see it looking on the outside in, I think that the dev team for Planetside 2 is kind of set in stone at this point. They've got a number of decent people working on it and working on it from all different angles. So I can't imagine them bringing somebody in to do anything different on it, but you certainly never know. So that is the totality of what we know about the layoffs currently at Daybreak Games. Again, it does not sound like Planetside 2 was affected. The people at Daybreak Games that I normally talk with regularly, they're all still conversing with me, so it's not like I've heard that any of them have been let go. So again, I don't think that this is affecting Planetside 2 whatsoever, and especially when Roxley says the core team was unaffected. Now, before I put this topic to rest and just, my condolences, and just leave it with my condolences for everybody who got let go, which sucks. I want to tackle the other side of this, and obviously this made itself to Reddit pretty quickly because everybody it's big news when the game that you play a lot has layoffs. Everybody kind of crawls out from whatever rock they're living under and makes some comments on it. But I was a little concerned because some of the comments on Reddit were some of the most despicable things I think I've ever seen. The majority of them directed at Rel, and they're completely uncalled for. I mean, it doesn't matter how you feel about what someone's doing to the game that you like. It still doesn't give you, the license to just come out and say, I wish they had fired him, or I wish they had fired her, rather than whoever they fired, because they're absolutely destroying the game that I play. That's a great opinion if you want to have that opinion, and I'm certainly not going to shit on you for having some sort of opinion like that. But seriously, putting it into writing and throwing it out there just makes you look like an asshole. And if you're trying to be an asshole about it, then congrats, you succeeded. And I'm not going to name any names. There's quite a few people who posted about it saying, fire Rel, he fucking sucks. And it's shit like that is really disheartening because, again, I get it. Not everybody agrees with the direction that he's taking the game. That's fine. There are much better, more constructive ways for you to, relay that instead of saying fire so-and-so, especially during the fucking holidays, people. I mean, come on. It's shitty enough for a company to fire people in December, but then to have some of you pile on top of that and call for someone's head, basically, and ask for them to be fired at the same time, even though they're clearly not part of the round of layoffs. I mean, Rel responded to it and just said, grow up, and that was all he said. And I want to echo that exact same sentiment. Just fucking grow up, people. I mean, this is his livelihood at this point. I mean, does somebody from the outside come into your job and, scream at you to be fired for whatever job that you're doing at it? I mean, I was just kind of disgusted by some of the comments, and I know a lot of you are better than that, and really just it should be common sense to think before you post, and that's really all I want to say on this topic. Come on, it's the holiday season. Maybe we can just be kind to each other for 1 month out of the year, especially in light of something like this. And that's all I'm going to say about this topic. Let's move on to happier things with the second topic this week. And that topic is Auraximas 2018. I've got such a bad taste in my mouth from the last topic, so hopefully it's not going to carry over into everything else I do today. But on December 5th, on both the PC and the PS4, the Auraximas Game update dropped, and I'm excited because they both dropped at the same time, which is huge. That's something that we've been asking for a long time now, and so I'm glad to see something like that happening. But more importantly, the Auraximas or December directives are back in the game, and I love doing directives. And the reason I love doing directives is because there are times when I log in and I play, competitive, outfit-based, squad-based, tactical shit, and all that stuff goes down. But then there are other times when I just log in and I have no real plan to do anything. And therefore, having a directive to work on really makes it worth my while and makes me feel like I'm having an actual productive gameplay session. So what do we get with these particular directives this year? Well, I'm glad that you asked. So let's roll right through these directives. Well, you got 5 of them this year. You've got the Golden Snowman Slaughter. You got to find and kill a golden snowman. You've got Season's Beatings, which returns from last year, and that's killing enemies while wearing a holiday hat. You've got Slay Ride, S-L-A-Y, I love that. Roadkill enemies while any non-camo Auraximas vehicle cosmetic is equipped. That's a tough one for a lot of people, actually, because there's not too many vehicle cosmetics for Auraximas that are out there. I'll tell you how to get one in a minute. Next up is Auraximas Cheer, and that's reviving fallen allies. You'll note that it used to be C4 was the one. You'd have to kill enemies, deliver presents, quote unquote. So you notice that they've swapped that out to revives, which is not too bad. It means less C4. And finally, the Snowman Bodyguard one, which is to earn draw fire ribbons with your Snowman soldiers. Now, speaking of the Snowman soldiers, if you go to your loadout, you go down to your utility, and that's where you've got things like your med kit, C4, things like that. You'll note that the Snowman Soldier is purchasable there for 1 cert, and then once you purchase it for the 1 cert, you can use it across all your all your different classes. And basically, the Snowman Soldier, you can only place it outside right now, which kind of stinks. I wish we could place them indoors, but maybe there'd be too much of them placed indoors, and that might be an issue. So I mean, I understand why they're outdoors, but kind of whatever. Now, I did say about the sleigh ride that there's not too many different cosmetics that you can put on your vehicles to use. And a really good way to take care of that is if you go into the depot right now, there's something called the Holiday Bundle out there that I didn't see too much mention about. And It's not a bad bundle at all. So it's $14.99 or $13.49 if you're a member like I am. And it will unlock across all 3 of your factions across your entire account when you purchase this. But the first thing that you're going to get is the Season Greetings banner that you're able to place. You're going to get a Holiday Squad experience boost that lasts for 14 days, which isn't too shabby. You're going to get the Icy Kill knife across all 3 factions. You're going to unlock the Nanite Systems holiday hat. You're going to unlock the Vanu holiday hat, the Terran holiday hat, and the new Conglomerate holiday hat. You're also going to unlock the NS Deep Freeze, the pistol. And last, you're going to unlock the Digital Snowflake hood ornament. And this Digital Snowflake hood ornament is usable to complete that sleigh ride directive. And now on top of that, when you purchase the holiday hats themselves, they have a plus 50 XP bonus to them when you're actually wearing it. So just multiple reasons for you to go out and grab this holiday bundle. And really at $14.99, it's not that much. I mean, even I could afford it. Now they've also got some other, the Esamir holiday tree hood ornament that you can purchase as well to help you complete it. But I felt that the holiday bundle itself was really the best value for my money when I was trying to do that particular that particular directive. So I would certainly pick that up if I were you guys. The price really isn't that bad. So in addition to those directives, once you actually complete them, if you do finish the tier 1, you'll unlock the Empire-specific holiday hat anyways, so I guess maybe buying it is kind of silly if you're going to get it for free by doing just tier 1, and tier 1 is so simple to use. At tier 2, you're going to get 200 certs and also a basic implant pack. At tier 3, you're going to get 100 certs, and you're going to get the Auraximas banner. And then at tier 4, which is what most people are going for, you're going to unlock the title Grouchy, and you're also going to unlock the Little Helper shotgun. Now, the Little Helper shotgun, we know it works pretty much exactly like the Baron does. It's a clone of the Baron, basically. Right now, there's a issue where attachments aren't being able to be allowed to it, but that's something they'll be fixing soon. Other than that, it is the single most ugliest shotgun I have ever seen in my entire life. It fits the theme of Auraximas perfectly, but it is ugly as sin. So if you get it, good on you. In addition to that, ammo packs now are loaded with cookies. C4 explodes into a delicious spray of fruitcake, it says. Just lots of cool little things like that. And again, if you do find the golden snowman, you get a special holiday hood ornament if you kill that golden snowman. So that is the Auraximas holiday. I'm doing it. Honestly, this is one of the easier holidays to do. Getting all 3 of these things, Season's Beatings, you just need to kill somebody while wearing a hat, and finishing the first one, you get a hat. So this is a very, very easy directive to do. So you have plenty of time to do it. It's running through the end of the month, so get on in there and do it. Now, in addition to the Auraximas holiday, there were some other miscellaneous changes and fixes. The biggest one, and one I know a lot of people are excited about, is that if you complete the Exceptional 2 directive, that's the one that used to, at the Auraxium level, award you with a single-use golden weapon camo. If you complete it now, you unlock the solid gold weapon camo. It's no longer a single-use version. And anybody who has unlocked it already receives a grant of the new permanent camo at a later date. You're just going to have to wait for it. But eventually, you'll be able to just put the solid gold weapon camo on all your weapons if you complete Exceptional 2. That's really the biggest thing that they added, besides a bunch more loading screens into the game itself. You're going to see the nice holiday one, which has all the TR guys drinking beers at a holiday party, and NC Max is kicking down the door, which is one of my personal favorites. But again, that gold weapon camo is huge. I think a lot more people are going to be working towards that Exceptional 2 directive now that you're able to get it. So now that I've told you all about it, get on out there and finish those directives. But with that, let's move on to this week's Veteran's Voice. Take it away, Romus.
I prefer to be as polite as possible, but sometimes you sacks of hamburger meat just completely miss the point, and I need to be the bad guy to straighten you out. The next one of you manure piles that fills the yell chat with things like "Bloggins just ruined the fight by destroying the Sunderer" is gonna get my boot so far up your ass, you're gonna be coughing my shoelaces. This isn't Counter Duty Field 7 Arena, or whatever it is you nincompoops play these days. This is Auraximas. There's combined arms. If you want to stand in a hallway and shoot infantry who are always standing in the same spot, DE Dust 2 is all the way back there in 2001. Get going. Most soldiers on Auraximas understand the overall strategy of Planetside, but you're ignorant of the tactics that you need to make it happen. Destroying a Sunderer is a key step in rebuffing an attack. Once you've crushed the attack by removing reinforcements, then you move on to your own attack. That's how you secure territory. Get your butt to the next base. Just because you can't capture it doesn't mean you can't keep the base under control longer. Once a defender is set up, they're harder to get rid of. You can't just camp your way to victory like you're sitting in the garage at CS Militia. Like I said, this isn't your grandpappy's battle. Remember, the only difference between a scrub lord and a Superman is learning from your mistakes. Back to you, Derringer. Shut up, Bloggins. Nobody asked you.
Thanks for that, Romus. Listening to that, I find that many times I've disagreed with what Romus just said there, because I am one of the people who constantly says, kill the Sunderer, kill the fight. I do like farming a tasty, juicy Sunderer. Maybe that makes me a bad player in Romus's eyes. So be it. Let's move on to our third topic this week, which was the December 6th PC hotfix. And this has just one thing in it, and it's it has a couple bug fixes, but I'll get to those afterwards. The biggest thing in this PC-only game update or hotfix is that the server transfers between Connery and SolTech to Connery are now live. So if you go to your character select screen, and if you have either a character on Connery or SolTech, there should be an option at the bottom of the character select screen next to the play option that when you click it, it will process a transfer of your character from Connery to SolTech initially, and obviously vice versa works as well. Now, Nick does say, please be patient because it can take a moment for that to go through. Don't just keep clicking the button. You just need to do it once. But yeah, if you're a Connery player and you've wanted to move your main character over to SolTech, now is the time to do it. Now, they did say that they've done their best to test it, but they recommend you first attempt with a lower value character and keep an eye on their various messaging channels, like the Planetside 2 Twitter or the forums, to see if they're running into any problems before you do it with your high value one. Now, they do plan on leaving this ability open for 30 days. Now, again, if this goes live on the 6th, expect us to go through to January 6th to allow this. So please don't leave your character on the wrong server at the end of the window, because they're not planning on turning this back on at a later date. They also say that it's not a system they plan to bring to any other servers soon or maybe ever, but they are going to be monitoring the results of this to see if it's something that could potentially be used at some point. I know that there was a lot of talk in the background of potentially allowing Briggs characters to transfer to SolTech as well, but we'll have to see if that is something that happens at all. So again, exciting news if you are a Connery player who prefers to play on SolTech, if you're an Asian player or something along those lines, or even just a Connery player who wants to reverse the ping nightmare that they've been playing against. I guess you can go and do it if you really wanted to. But again, that stuff's live, and I've heard people saying it's working pretty well. I haven't seen too many complaints regarding it. I know there's some issues with members of outfits moving from one to the other and then still being in the original outfit, and that's kind of weird with having outfits over multiple servers, because obviously you can't invite or play together or anything like that, but they still kind of exist. Maybe that's something they'll fix in the end, but certainly who knows. But again, exciting news if you're a Connery player who wants to play on SolTech. Now, in addition to that, like I said, there were a couple bug fixes, like they added the Lunar Tires icon in the marketplace, and they added a special holiday banner to notify us that Auraximas was live. But again, the majority of this game, this hotfix, is that Connery to SolTech transfer. So I will be one of the first to say congratulations to the guys over at Daybreak Games. I know this is something they've wanted to do for a while, and it's really cool to see it in effect. And it makes me wonder if now that they've got something like this in place, even though they said they may not ever do it ever again, that I think that this is an excellent money-making opportunity for them to, if this system's perfected, they'd be fools not to offer this as a $25 option, much like World of Warcraft does, to allow you to transfer servers. It's an easy moneymaker. People do want to transfer their characters from one server to another because they don't want to lose a high-value character or whatnot. So I do hope that Daybreak Games looks at this and says, this is something that we can do, this is something that did work, and then offers it as a fee at a later date. Again, they'd be fools not to kind of take whatever cash they can get from it. But enough about that. Let's move on to our fourth and final topic this week. And that last topic is time to spin up the rumor mill, because we heard at the end of last week that Daybreak Games trademarked a new trademark called Planetside Arena. Now, what does that mean? Unfortunately, it means pretty much nothing, because they have a lot of different IPs, trademarks, sorry. They have 113 different trademarks listed out there. But Planetside Arena is one of the newest ones that they have listed. Now, again, it really means nothing at this point, because they're very tight-lipped about it. There's no information coming out about it whatsoever. Everything is pure speculation at this point. So I don't want to get too caught up in it, even though one side of me says, oh my God, Planetside Arena, this better not be some sort of battle royale game. I'm not going to lie, I can't stand Fortnite. I am not a fan of PUBG. I don't play Black Ops with its arena mode, things like that. I just don't like that style of gameplay. I don't like that style of game. So I'm a little concerned that Planetside 2 might be creating something like this. If they do, it's something that I'll check out, but I can guarantee it's something that I will not play on a regular basis. And I'll be even more dissatisfied if it pulls a lot of new players away from Planetside 2 to go play this arena version or battle royale version of the game instead. Again, this is completely rumor-based. We have no information. I have no information. I'm just making a blind speculation here and a knee-jerk reaction to the name Planetside Arena. It could be something completely different. It could be, it could be anything. It could be, this is something that they're doing for competitive play or anything. It may have nothing to do with the Battle Royale version of the game whatsoever. But, of course, when you title something Arena, everybody automatically assumes that it's Battle Royale, again, because Battle Royale is the flavor of the month right now. So at this point, I just want to mention it, and I don't want to go too deep into it just because we don't know too much about it at this point. And we may never know anything about it because, like I said, there's 113 different records of trademarks from Daybreak Games, and a good portion of those all have fizzled out into nothing or been revoked or whatnot, and are never being used. I mean, companies trademark names all the time in order to beat other people from stealing it and things like that. So that's really all that I want to talk about regarding this last topic. If anybody knows anything more or anything definitive, feel free to let me know. But right now, this is just a rumor at this point as to what might be coming for Planetside 2. I'll let you guys dive down the rabbit hole on Google to find out anything else you want to know about it. But with that, let's move on to housekeeping this week.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping.
Not now.
Housekeeping.
Go away.
I coming anyway?
Unfortunately, another week quiet. I'm assuming everybody's out there doing their holiday shopping instead of sending emails into the show. So that's going to be it for this week's show. But as always, how can you get in touch with me or the show? Well, first off, visit my website, www.instantactionpodcast.com. Send me an email, instantactionshow@gmail.com. Call me, leave me a voicemail, 347-4VM4PS2. That's 347-486-4772. Follow the show on Twitter at InstaActPodcast. Drew followed me this week. Or follow me on my personal Twitter, which is at The Derringer. But in closing, if you've enjoyed the show, please leave me a review on your podcast listening avenue of choice, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere else. Also, feel free to tell your friends and outfit mates about the show. And finally, thanks for listening, and keep spamming that Join Combat, formerly known as Instant Action button.